Hello, my friends on YouTube. Mario here again with a new video on Tiwanaku and especially Puma Punku. Before we go to Tiwanaku, I take you along a series of buildings and structures that were excavated. I was always wondering how it is possible to excavate a building of a few thousand years old from an enormous depth. Here are the walls of King Solomon. The structure of King Solomon is excavated from many feet below the current ground level. You see on the background there's the city, it's even a mosque, and the walls of King Solomon is said to be just 3,000 years old. I take you to the next one. Here is in Jerusalem, the city of David. You know King David who fought the Goliath. So according to the myth, David met the giants. Also, this city is excavated from many feet below the current ground level. Here, Göbekli Tepe. It's always the same story. Ancient structures that are excavated from many feet below the current ground level. Here, the Pantheon. Pantheon is around 2,000 years old, and you see the street level, the buildings on the background, they are all on the same level. How is it possible that structures that are a little bit older than this Pantheon must be excavated from many feet below the current ground level, and the Pantheon is just on exactly the same ground level? This is a topic that is too less discussed among archaeologists. And then here, Puma Punku, before excavation. This is a black-white picture, as you see. And Puma Punku is excavated also many feet below the current ground level. And the build-up rate of soil goes very slowly in this region because there is hardly any new material to add to the soil, because there grows hardly anything. The build-up rate of soil is mainly fueled by organic material that slowly decomposes in several elements, and these several elements form soil, dense soil, and this process takes many thousands of years to complete only a few inches. So here is some excavation pictures from Puma Punku today. You see there are still a lot of stones to be excavated, so this process is still not completed. And here another photo from Puma Punku. So these excavations are done several feet below the current ground level. Here another photo from Puma Punku. And here a photo from our friend Brian Forster, standing behind a row of the famous H blocks of Puma Punku. Brian, but also and many other people are wondering how you can cut such very precise H blocks with just copper chisels and hammers. And this is granite, and granite is many times harder than copper or bronze. So if it already would be possible to cut granite with bronze tools, it's simply impossible. Your tools just wear out after a few blows. After this short intermezzo, I'll take you to this graph. This is a very well done research in 2018 done to the build-up rate of soil, and I take you to the graph on the top right corner. You'll see this yellow band, and this yellow band, this vertical band, goes from 100 to 400,000 years, and this large red dot sits in the middle of this point cloud. And then we go to the left on the horizontal band, and we end up with a soil thickness of between 1 meter and 3.3 meters. So that equals around 3 feet up to 11 feet. That is the build-up speed of soil between 100 and 400,000 years. The big thing is, if an archaeologist has to excavate a building in a Mediterranean region like Israel or Turkey or, of course, Bolivia is not Mediterranean, but it has the same scarcity of vegetation as in Israel or Turkey. There's no organic material to build up soil over time, hardly. So this process of soil build-up takes for 1 meter or 3 feet around 100,000 years. So if a building has to be excavated from dense soil in a scarcely vegetated area, this typical ground layer where this building is situated is around 100,000 years. And it's still a mystery to me why archaeology is still totally oblivious about these clear anomalies. After this intermezzo, to make you more aware about the build-up rate of soil in this area of Tiwanaku, I take you to Tiwanaku, and like I already explained in the former videos, Tiwanaku is beneath the equator. I already explained more details about Kalasasaya and about Akapana, and we now go to Puma Punku. And there is a clear pattern in orientation of these three buildings. Kalasasaya is cardinally oriented, while Akapana is slightly clockwise oriented and Puma Punku slightly more clockwise oriented. And this typical pattern of orientation follows the sequence of our pole patterns. So the poles 1, 2 and 3. So we have suggested that pole 3 could have possibly been on this position on Antarctica. And we still are a little bit in doubt about the fact that Puma Punku could be much, much older. And we have suggested then pole 3. The probability that we are right in our preposition about Puma Punku relating to pole 3 is around 75%, because the orientation patterns match the pole patterns. For this pattern to match, there's a probability of 75% for this to be coincidental. So it's a good start to begin with. If you want to watch the full video on Puma Punku, you can subscribe to my Patreon page and watch the full 12.5-minute video about this very intriguing site in Bolivia. Thank you and hope to see you the next time.